place, Kerala, and I'm going to pull up some videos and we'll see them sort of one at a time. We may not see all of them. I'm hoping we'll see everything though. Any questions at this point? Any questions? Okay, so this will give you a chance to, yeah, oh, Shannon did have a question. Okay.
Robin's got the question. I just didn't unmute fast enough.
Oh, no, I just wanted to clarify. We're taking notes on the
Yes.
videos of what is it that you specifically that you're wanting us to note?
The similarities and the differences between what you're seeing and what you've seen with the Krishnatum and Katakali.
Okay,
So you're just sort of comparing the two things.
you got it.
What you heard, some of you, when you first came to the site, you were hearing the jatis of the Bharatanatyam dance drama form, the classical dance form in South India, in Chennai, and in Madras or Tamil Nadu. Okay, and those sounds had to do with the footsteps of the dancer. Okay, and so you're going to hear some stuff somewhat similar to that, but we're going to start with the Kalari Payatu that I mentioned the other day. And that's because it has a lot to do with the, are you still with me? I seem to have gotten some strange signal here. Okay, you can still hear me, right? And you can see me maybe. Okay, so so if you'll look at this list that I've got here, what I've done is I'm going to kind of start this list. So at the top of this list is our recording that I put up on YouTube, and I'm going to post this whole thing so you can download it and you can see all of these on this sheet. Okay, but following what is there on last Tuesday is three possible Kathakali things that you could take a look at. First is Kichaka Vada. Kichaka, as you may or may not remember, Panchali finds these wonderful flowers in Kalyana Saugandhika and asks Bhima, her husband, to fetch it for her. Now, there's a thing you need to remember about this incident from the Mahabharata. First of all, Panchali has 5 husbands. Okay. Why does she have 5 husbands? Because when Arjuna, who was the famous warrior of the 5 brothers, went out, he found, her name is Draupadi officially, but she's called Panchali in the Saugandhika story. He found this beautiful woman and fell in love with her and came back home and told his mother, I found the most beautiful woman in the world, the most beautiful thing in the world. And his mother said, share it with your brothers. Okay, so that meant that she is shared by the 5 brothers of the Pandava clan. Okay, so Bhima is just one of the 5 husbands for Panchali. An interesting kind of approach to relationships. In any case, so Kichaka Vada is about when they went into hiding. Remember, they're in hiding in the Saugandhika story too. They're hiding in the forest, but eventually they go to a palace, and Kichaka is one of the members of the palace who's a kind of nasty person, and he puts the make on Panchali, and so she is taken aback, and she approaches Bhima, who is serving as the driver for the chariots. Remember, he's a major figure in the Mahabharata, but he's driving chariots for the bosses. And she tells him that this is what's happened to me, and he says, I'll get revenge. And so he proceeds to kill Kichaka. So Kichaka Vada is about the, Vada means death. So the death of Kichaka. All right. Dushasana Vadam, the second thing down on this list, is about those guys that are, oh, stop that. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. Sorry, guys. We got myself mixed up here. Dushasana Vadam is about the court of Dushasana. Life.
Our current president has failed. He's failed to protect us. He's failed to protect America.
Sorry,
As president,
guys.
I'll make you a promise. I'll protect America without it.
Shut up. You're not in this class, Biden. Okay. So Dushasana is the head of the court, of which Kichaka is a member of this court. And the final thing is a shorter, well, actually it's 3 hours long performance if you want to see the whole thing. If you want to see a Katakali all the way through as it's normally performed today, take a look at the Ramayana Katakali, which like the Dushasana piece is very interesting to watch. But it's always depends on how interested you are in such things. So I'm assuming that some of you may take a peek, but you may not watch the whole thing all the way through, right? You're not really asked to do that. What I do want us to see today is this Kalaripayattu, which is the martial art tradition of Kerala, and a couple of these videos which are very useful. And so we'll start with the first one. All right. Is anything coming?
Kalaripayattu is the most sophisticated and ancient
Can you
martial
see
art form
this?
in the world. It was born in Kerala, a
I
small
can only
state in
see
South
the
India,
document page.
and precisely
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. Let's go back. And let's get back on the page we need to get on. Aha! Okay. This is the Kalaripayattu video. Okay, and it essentially shows you the Kalari. The Kalari, this is where Kudiyatam used to practice, and it was below ground. Essentially, you can see the top, where you can see out of these windows, that's actually meant to be the ground level of this space. So practicing in a space that was damper and warmer than the outside air, even though it allowed outside air to flow in, was what they did in these martial art traditions. It allowed the body to heat up at a certain rate, but not wasn't too hot. Okay, so that was the whole point of having them underground. So, and those are all weapons against the wall that are used in the training. And you see the little oil lamps at the back area. Those are connected to the worship that's done to the goddess in this particular instance. And so here this woman is going to sort of do some things, and we're going to see a couple of things through here.
for that reason its history is inextricably linked to the social and cultural life of the land. Although tiny differences in terms of regional practices have led to variants like Tekkan Kalari, the southern style, and Radikan Kalari, the northern style, Kalaripayattu is essentially one in spirit. From its earliest times, it was accessible to all, regardless of differences in
That's
caste,
like the
religion,
mace
and
of
gender.
Bhima. This is what Bhima would have had in
The
his
story
hands
of
if he
the
were
origin
fighting.
of Kalaripayattu is linked to the myth that surrounds the birth of Kerala. It is believed that after reclaiming the land from sea, sage Parashurama set up 1,008 Kalaris or training centers in order to stop the ground from shaking. Historical research, of course, has another account to offer. It states that Kalaripayattu was developed by the soldiers of Kerala when a war broke out between the Chola and Chera dynasties in the 12th century. According to other historical sources, Kalaripayattu was developed much earlier. Kalaris are constructed in two ways. One, by digging a rectangular pit on the ground, This is the Kurikalari. The other is made by enclosing a flat patch of open ground. Although there are small and big Kurikalaris, the most common one is 42 feet long and 21 feet wide. The most important spots inside a kalari are the Putara and the Gurutara. The Putara is a set of 7 semicircular steps. Beliefs vary regarding the significance of the number. According to some, the steps symbolize 7 gods that protect the world. According to another, they stand for the Panchendriyas, 5 sense organs, the mind and the intellect. The Gurudara is constructed 1 foot to the north of the Putara. Putara Vandanam. This is a ritual that every student has to follow before the training begins. It is an indigenous form of worship that involves specific moves and stances. This is the first of the 4 types of combat training in Kalaripaite. The Vaitari or oral commands made by the guru or master are rendered in a rhythmic fashion which the students follow implicitly. The Metari module includes training in various forms of steps, jumps, and stances. With constant practice, the students are able to take complete control of their bodily movements. After the students have gained mastery over their bodies, they are introduced to Koltari, or combat using various kinds of sticks. Kettakari Paite involves the use of long sticks. This is followed by Cheravadi Paite, using short sticks, and Ottu Paite, using curved batons. Ottu Paite comes just before Kathari Paite, or dagger fight. The only difference between the two is that the former uses wooden weapons, whereas the latter uses metal ones. After the students have mastered the art of combating with sticks, they graduate to training in the use of metal weapons. 2 weapons commonly used all over the world are employed in this stage: Val, or the sword, and Kundam, or the spear. Although both are equally important in Kalaripaite, the Churika, or dagger, is considered more deadly. A similar weapon that combatants tuck around their waists is the Urumi, or whip-like sword. Students who have gained proficiency in the first 3 combat procedures are considered eligible for Verumkai, or bare-handed combat. This trains them in tackling opponents when they are totally unarmed. After acquiring expertise in Marma Shastra, or science of the vital spots of the body, the formal education in Kalaripaite is complete. In this manner, fingers, fists, elbows, knees, feet, and even the forehead of the combatant become weapons. Kalari Chikitsa, or treatment, is as famous as Kalaripaite. Purichil, or massage, that is fundamental to the treatment is characterized into 3. Enneteche Pidipikal, or oil massage, Kai Urichil, or massage using the hands, and Chavati Irchil, or massage using the feet. When students sustain injuries to their marmas, or vital parts of their body, the guru, who is also an expert in Urichil, administers the right treatment. Deep knowledge of the marmas is vital to the Kalaripaite. Thus, Kalaripaite that encompasses training and treatment is an indigenous martial art form of Kerala that has no peers. For that reason, thousands of people from all over the world come to this tiny land in search of Kalaris. They acquire this precious knowledge in return, their hearts brimming with a sense of gratification.
Okay. So that gives you some rough idea of the art of Kalarippayattu. And this is the same training that Phil Zerilli used in his training of student actors, MFA actors at the University of Wisconsin. And so if you want to go and take a look at just type Phil Zerilli or Philip Zerilli on YouTube, it'll pull up a number of illustrations of his teaching and his practice. He's no longer with us. He passed away this year. But he did, in fact, train a whole lot of actors who ultimately he trained them in England. He left Wisconsin and started teaching at Suffolk in England. And then he got a troupe of people and they traveled around the world performing. But using the Kalaripayattu as a training procedure, that was the whole idea, and to flexibility, control, and focus of the mind. All of this was his intention when he was studying that. The second video, if I can pull it up, let's see if I get it. Tell me if there's anything coming up on the screen. Hello, world. Is it coming up? Where is it coming up? This is, is it there?
There it is.
There it is, baby. Good. Okay. I'm going to take you back. This shows you the particular things connected to the training. This is more a close-up view of how you use animal poses for the training. I didn't study this at all, but I did see it. You can go and actually, they let you into the upper level of the color.
What you're seeing is not computer-simulated special effects, nor a magician's trick that deceives the eye. You are seeing the human body trained to perfection. You are seeing total control and limitless power. Kalaripayattu, considered the fountainhead of all martial art forms, is a unique system of self-defense that aims at perfect power of the body and perfect peace of the mind. An intricate blend of physical prowess, mental discipline, and an indigenous medical science, Kalaripayattu originated at a time when physical strength and courage were of primary importance to survival. However, unlike most other martial art forms, here, fighters use absolutely no armor to guard the chest, forearms, and head, even in fights with the most lethal of weapons. Kalari fighters, with their extraordinary powers, played a major role in many an astounding victory. It was with great difficulty that Lord Wellesley, instrumental in the defeat of Napoleon at Waterloo, defeated the exiled Parishi Raja, who was living in the forests of Wayanad. The Raja's faithful band of followers held the machine gun-wielding army of Wellesley at bay with their bows and arrows for an incredibly long time.
So Zerilli used the sticks, but not the metal instruments to fight with. This in particular is what he had them start with, this particular set of movements that you're following now.
The optimum level of training makes the body movements as quick as those of the eyelids. The term used by the old gurus was Me Kannaka. Me means the body and Kanna means the eye. And the term suggests that the body should be made the eye. This indicates the capability to sense an attack from any direction, including from behind, and the honing of all reflexes to lightning speed. The word Kalari in Malayalam means practice ring or a training center, and Payatta means duel. Hence, Kalaripayattu means martial skills learned in a ring or training center. Kalaris were primarily of two types: Cheru Kalari for training and Anga Kalari, constructed temporarily for the purpose of fighting duels to decide on any quarrel between local rulers. Mastery of the art comes from systematic and rigorous training, which usually starts at the age of 7. Over the years, fighters learn to maximize alertness and agility, even while cultivating mental skills like concentration, confidence, and courage. All this is achieved by the strong sense of discipline that prevails in all aspects of Kalari training. The initial training in Kalaripayattu focuses on achieving the skill to adopt certain stances that are broadly classified into two: Chuvada and Vadiva. Chuvada is the position of the feet, while Vadiva is the posture of the body, keeping the Chuvada as its basis. The combinations of Chuvada and Vadiva forms the steps followed prior to an offensive or defensive maneuver.
Okay, so this tells mostly the whole story. Do you have any questions about this? Yes, Shannon.
Oh, so actually it was me. So my question is, this is, you were talking last class about the 4 a.m. training that the Katakali dancers would go through. And this is the martial art that they are practicing in those early hours?
No, actually, they wouldn't be going through this kind of training because this is reserved for the Kalaris for this kind of Kalaripayattu. What
Okay.
they've done is they've borrowed from Kalaripayattu, they've borrowed the training, the facility to flexibility, oiling their bodies, ultimately ending in massage, like you saw in the various films. And essentially what this is, it served as a beginning stage for thinking about how to train people to do something. And the outcome of the training for these guys is one of two things. One, they train them for skill in fighting. And secondly, they train them, they actually give them massage treatments, which are used, Ayurvedic medicines are used on the body for the oil massage. I had a number of these training oil massages because of, my leg was broken here at the corner of Baldwin and Lumpkin. And I had to, then I had trouble walking. And so when I got to Kerala, they put me through a process of 3 weeks and it was fine. So, so after this kind of process with the oil massage, etc., it was perfect. So I can attest to the fact that these oil massages at the end of this kind of training are really useful for practical medical purposes.
That's awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, sure. Okay, now let's go to the next one. Okay, so what you've seen are the kinds of training that are done for this purpose, but here are the varieties of theater forms that are connected to Kathakali or not. The first one is definitely connected to Kathakali, and it's called Krishnatum. Okay, Krishna is the god Krishna, who's the incarnation of Lord Vishnu. And Krishnatum is Krishnattam. Can you see that? Are you looking at the, is there, let me
No,
go
we're
back.
still looking at the YouTube.
Oh, you're still in, okay, thank you. All right, let's get ourselves back to normal. Okay. Have to find the damn thing. All right. We're going to go back to, okay. And then we're going to choose to do this again. And we're going to go back to the form. Okay. Now you should be seeing, yes. Okay, so Krishnatum, and I've got 3 separate examples of Krishnatum. So Krishnatum is older than Kathakali. Kudiyatam is the oldest of these forms, of these art forms. Kudiyatam is older, followed by Krishnatum, which was a spin-off from Ramayanatum, which also was a spin-off for Kathakali as well. So I'm going to show you the Krishnatum as it's demonstrated. It has 8, essentially it has 8 nights. Are you seeing this? Guru Vayur Krishnatum?
No, we're seeing the document still.
Oh, no, okay. We'll go back and we'll go back. All right, now we're going to get to this. I'll learn how to use this eventually. Okay, so this is a very brief description of what Krishnatum is. But what is useful about this is at the very bottom here, it shows you the 8, it lists the 8 nights that Krishnatum is performed. And it tells you about what is the purpose of each of these stories and how, and it also offers the opportunity for people in Kerala to go to the temple and make an offering to the temple. For example, if they want a child, they want a child to be born, a couple will go to the temple and ask for the performance of Avatara. And because this is about the birth of Krishna. So they want to have their own kid. And so they go and they offer X number of rupees, say 1,000,000 rupees, or gold ornaments, or it varies. They have a price tag. You go up to an office door, just like you buy tickets for the football game. You go up and you say, I want to have this performed. And they say, well, we can have it performed on X day. And it costs X number of dollars. And so he says, okay, I'll give you the money and then I'll come back and watch the performance, or I won't. They do the performance even if the person who has ordered it isn't there, simply because it's done for the benefit of that couple to try to have a child. Okay, and so the popular ones of these, Avatara is a popular one. The Kali Yamardana is about poison. That's not important. But Swayamvara is very important. A speedy matrimony, a speedy marriage is very important. And fulfilling of vows, the next one down, is very important. So people would choose from among these stories to be performed simply because they were interested in and actually wanted to bring about a change in their lifestyle or whatever. Okay, so it is also true that Kudiyatams are done somewhat like this, that certain stories are popular with certain people and they will order them. So for example, I've ordered several things from Madhu recently, and he's agreed to do them for me, and I pay him for that. Okay, so it's just like if we pay you, Robin, for your performance, instead of tickets, we'll give you a white horse. And you'll have to feed it. And Shannon will have to feed it. Okay, or whatever is offered to the individual or to the artist or to the temple. Okay, so it's done in this kind of fashion. All right, now we're gonna see if we can go back to this. And then we're going to bang on the door of this. All right, and so we're going to see a little Krishnatum. This art form has masks. They use masks in the performance, especially masks of the demon figures. Not the masks of the major characters like Krishna, but the masks of the demons. Okay, and hopefully we get this. Where is it going? Come on, baby. Nothing come up?
Still the document.
Yeah, sorry. It's not happy. Okay, we'll go back to it, see if it's going to be happier. Da, 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 da. See, we really need to get out of this. Okay, let's go back. All right. Yeah, we'll just stop that little thing. Sorry, folks, but this is the joy of working with this.
It's fine. Technology's garbage.
It is, isn't it? All right, let's see if it comes up. No. No, it doesn't, does it? It's stupid. Num, 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 num. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. Well, I don't much like this. Let's see if it does it. No, it's not going to do that. Lord help us. Okay, then maybe it'll do it now. No. Sorry, guys. It's just my lack of knowledge how to fiddle with this. What we need is we need that, but it can't be this way. Maybe this will do it. No, this is the, okay. I see what's wrong. Don't fall asleep now. I would tell you a story, but I'm not going to tell it to you right now. It has to do with things like this. Let's do this. Ah, is that showing? Okay. This is a performance that was filmed in Singapore. The company was invited to go to Singapore because there were a lot of Indians there who wanted to have a Krishnatum. So they brought this whole thing to Singapore. So you see the city in the background. And so what you have here is Lord Krishna making his entrance with Panchali, or Draupadi, and Garuda, the great bird on which he rides. So they're flying through the sky. This is sort of like looking at a tableau of a religious event. And then what you're going to have is a dance with Lord Krishna. So there they are. Katakali begins with such activities, but all of the characters that are entering at the beginning of the Katakali are doing a little pre-show dance, like these characters are doing here.
What are those zips on his shoulder?
So in case you're wondering, Garuda, G-A-R-U-D-A, is at the left. Krishna is in the center. And I mistakenly said something that I shouldn't have. The woman at the right is Radha, R-A-D-H-A. Okay, and this is the entrance of a demon character. And that's the demon coming out to take its place. Incidentally, I own one of these masks. It's in my house. So he's going over to all the musical instruments and asking their blessings. That's what he was doing on the stage right side. And he's doing the same thing to the drummer up left. And this kind of entrance is called a Terra Noku, which is a stylized entrance of a main character. He runs his hand across the curtain, teasing the audience, and not revealing himself. These entrances are done in Katakali as well, except there are no masks used in Katakali. Okay, well, I'm not going to tease you any longer, like he's doing. Okay, so in this particular instance, the actor is simply doing what you would normally do with an audience. If you had an audience, captive audience, you would want to let them hang on as long as it takes before you revealed yourself. Shakespeare does that a lot in his plays. Like, for example, the entrance of some characters not coming till the third act. They do, Moliere does it. So the chief character in Moliere doesn't enter the stage until the third act. So this is a similar kind of thing done in Kudyatam, or in Katakali, and Krishnatum. And let me go on. Well, our friend Biden is here. We don't want that, but we're going to
I'm the
get
third
rid.
generation on this family farm
Yeah.
out
Okay.
here in Western Pennsylvania.
Thank you. Here we go. Okay, this is a group dance done in Krishnatum. Okay, so Krishna enters with the milkmaids. So this is one of those stories that happens sort of in the middle. That, remember, I told you that Krishna, as a naughty boy, hides the girls' clothes when they're bathing in the river. In this case, he brings them all on stage for a dance. This is this kind of dance done all over India, these circle dances in honor of some deity or other. Also, all of these are men. There are not any women in this company. Also, you ought to know that all of these people are members of a union. They're protected by a union. Okay, well, this goes on and on. So this Krishnatum is older than Kathakali, and it was created as a competition between one of the kings and another king. And so as a result, it produced this sort of temple-based art as opposed to the public art that you see Kathakali being. It's a little different in terms of outcome. All right. Now I'm going to take you to the Christian drama in South Kerala. Oh, no, not that one. These guys bumped in it.
The
No.
heart healthy diet still couldn't lower Kathy's LDL. So my cardiologist said,
Okay, Chavitu Natakam. There are a lot of companies of Chavitu Natakam wandering around the middle part and the southern part of Kerala, and wearing costumes like this, which look very similar to an imitation of something that Europeans might have been wearing in the 17th century. So he's showing the cross.
பாரில் பூக்கள் சிறைந்த பாம்பை கதிபதியாய் பாரில் பூக்கள் சிறைந்த பாம்பை கதிபதியாய் பார்வேந்திரன் புகழ் சத்யா மகுடேந்திரன் நல்ல பார்வேந்திரன் புகழ் சத்யா மகுடேந்திரன் நல்ல பார்வேந்திரன் புகழ் சத்யா மகுடேந்திரன் பூகழும் சத்யா பெரிமாறை புகழ்ந்தா மேலாய் பூகழும் சத்யா பெரிமாறை புகழ்ந்தா மேதானே என்னும் காமான் ராஜன் தோன்றினாரே
If you put Chabunatakam into the search engine on YouTube, you'll find lots of these. Apparently, a lot of people have entered that name because they were interested in this art form. It's very, very different from what we've seen thus far. Okay, now we're going to look at Oten Tulal.
Watch NFL games live all
sure.
season long with YouTube TV.
This is a one-person form. It came about because a drummer in Krishnatum got fed up with the chakyar who he was accompanying in a temple performance. And so he said, I will attract more people than you can attract, and I'll do it outside the temple. And so he created this art form, which would, at one point in time in Kerala, was the most predominant art form there. Very popular because it told the story through language and through song with musicians and one performer. It's like a stand-up performer. This is a very famous artist here. Okay, stop. Don't do it. Okay, any questions there?
I have not so much a question, just a strange observation. You were this is the Christian dramas, or the one before was the Christian dramas at least.
Yeah.
It almost seems like you said that there was like a Western influence in the costuming.
Mm-hmm.
We were just commenting, Robin and I, about how like the costuming looked like what you would expect a westernized idea of Indian culture to look like not quite right, like
right.
almost some kind of like culturally insensitive, on the nose, like this is what India is. But it was just so interesting that like it was actual Indian people wearing this spot-on costuming that was Western influenced. I don't know if that makes any sense. It was just
no. I think
strange
you're right. I think you're right about that. Basically, borrowing ideas from the West and incorporating them in their own style, but creating a dance drama form that looks totally different from Katakali, but it is kind of a attempt to confront Katakali as an art form, and to present this for Christians, because there are a lot of stories that are depicted in the Chabunatakam that are Christian mythology, etc., including Saint George and the Dragon. They have a whole thing in which somebody is Saint George and somebody is the dragon, and they have a killing of the dragon on stage. So it follows very much that sort of approach that they've taken, but it certainly looks totally different, but it's got elements of Katakali in it. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're gonna. Yeah, sorry, somebody I'm hearing.
Oh, yes, Jason.
Oh, it's Jason. Do you have a question, Jason?
Yeah, a lot of the costumes look very Greek Orthodox. Is
Yeah.
that
Okay. Yes, I think you're
where
probably
the
right.
influences in Christianity? It's from the Greek.
They have Syrian Christians in Kerala as well as Catholics. So, and there are gradations of different ones of these communities that have sprung up in South India. But these are all in Kerala. Everything is in Kerala that you're seeing now. Okay, now we're going to go to Theyyam. Okay, Theyyam, hopefully. Theyyam is a ritual art form. That's real. And this guy is doing this deal, and I thought it was funny and it would be interesting to watch.
Good morning, everyone. This is David Hoffman from David's Bin here, coming at you live at 4:30 in the morning from Kannar, Kerala, India. Today I'm super excited because I'm going to see Theyyam. Theyyam is like a ritual that's part of this district. Happens between November and February. There's like 500 different varieties, and it's so wild. I have no idea what this is about. But basically, they paint some guy, he becomes like a god, and then he walks through fire.
So actually, now we are here to witness different varieties of Theyyam known as Vayanattukuluvan. There is a lot, like 500 varieties as you tell, but this is Vayanattukuluvan. We'll see what happens inside.
I'm excited. The second I saw the photos of this, I was like, oh no, I gotta see it. I can't wait. This is gonna be amazing. No one's covered this. It's very, very rare. Like, for actually to get to see it.
Actually, there's several books on this subject.
Inside
He doesn't remember.
Yeah, we had to he has a friend who got us here, but they won't give up the location. That was like follow them. So crazy,
yeah.
So crazy. It's gonna be great though. And whoa, this is like it's like a big gathering here.
Actually, we are in a small temple known as Kavu. Kavu means it will be a very small temple deep inside a village or something like that. A very small setup as you see over here. So we are going to see now how they paint the place. Now what we are seeing is the makeup of Hooligan. So Hooligan is considered as Lord Shiva. So they are worshipping Hooligan as Lord Shiva, and he's going to perform for around like an hour. After that, the Vayanattukuluvan is coming. Vayanattukuluvan is actually a very old man. He's very blind. He's considered as the son of Lord Shiva. So that's how they are worshipping.
So the first one is this one, who's white with some black stripes. Now they're putting on the headpiece with like super long hair, and then they're gonna put a mask on top, right? That's the thing. And the other guy is just like red and scary. Red and scary. Wow. So a lot of people here to get this guy ready. It's like, it's a performance.
So he's the one who is gonna split off the fire and everything like that. He's at the end, he'll come.
Okay, so this is the fire pit that they're going to use in the performance.
is a huge fundraising deadline coming up for Senate Democrats.
Oh my
And they
God.
need your help right now if they're going.
So he has to build himself up before he can go through the fire. He has to do his oblations to the different gods. He's blessing everyone. At one point, he's thought to be possessed by the god that he's representing. This is the headdress, by the way. You can see how tall it is. I think this is the character that is meant to scare off smallpox. And he's going to go on stilts now.
If you, 1, have neck pain, 2, like to sleep on one dominant side, or 3, sleep from side to side.
I think this is the. He changes his character here. And then he does these things. The whole idea here is that you shouldn't be burned by the flames of the fire. Okay, well, that's quite enough of that. And we only have a few minutes left. The last few things are varieties of things related to the same Theym, because in different parts of this region, Theym is popular with the various individuals staying there. Mostly the socioeconomic level of the people who support the Theym is low, in the lower side of things. These are not the intellectuals, these are not the artists, these are all people mostly who believe in a certain ritual about keeping the village safe from harm. And so as a result, they do these ritual performances periodically. This is in the north part of Kerala, not in the middle or the south part of Kerala. So the Theym, and there are several books on the subject. Our friend, unfortunately, didn't know about them, but and they're very good books on the subject, very interesting books. Okay, so it's too late to do anything but say goodbye. And thank you for your patience. Sorry all the trouble happened, but that's the way it is. Kerala's like this. It's full of variety and full of intrigue. And you can see why this guy was a bit enamored of the whole idea. He had no idea what he was getting into. Okay, so I will see you on Tuesday. Be sure and read the chapter on Katakali that Zirilli wrote. And then we'll try to concentrate more on that and sort of have your conversations about the lists of things that you saw as similar and different between these things and the things that you've seen thus far with Katakali and Kudiyatam. Okay, and with that, I say good night.